Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Third game for StarLadder China. We're on the final days of the group stage. It's do or die time for some of these teams. We've got DK up against Newbie. For DK, they've clinched their spot in the playoffs one way or another. They're at least going to get at least going to get third or fourth place. They could get second place with a win here behind IG. And we're going to see Newbie in a position where they want to win and clinch that second spot in the Chinese group stage. But I'm not alone for this match. For those of you who don't know him, I'm going to be joined by the man who's known as Skip. And how are you doing, Skip?
Really looking forward to this game, but like you said, there's this weird situation that if DK, no matter what happens, DK are through, and that means that, and I mean, I hate to bring this up, but if DK intentionally lost this game, then they could remove Vici Gaming's chances in this competition. It's a bit weird, right? Because if they lose this game, then they force a three-way tie if Vici win, but in the three-way tie, Vici Gaming get booted out because of the records. DK beat LGD and Vici, and LGD beat Vici, right? So I doubt it'll happen. I'm sure that DK will play seriously.
I wasn't sure which way around. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like DK are definitely not gonna.
But yeah.
Vici Gaming has been the toughest opponent for DK over the last few weeks in China. So I mean, not to say they're going to try and knock them out, but it's interesting
by losing. Yeah. But anyway, something to keep in mind, regardless. But
I'm sure they'd rather go to StarLadder Land. Yeah, I'm sure they'd rather go to StarLadder Land Finals with Vici Gaming and have best teams represent China rather than sneaky little place.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Newbie play, honestly, because I feel like they arrived on the scene. They had a bit of a disappointing performance in Cena Cup, and I think at that point a lot of people immediately wrote them off. You know, as a team, as the new dream team. So I think their recent performance has been a lot more convincing.
They've done well in StarLadder. They haven't been dominating, but they've kind of won matches that they mostly should. They've beaten some of the other top teams. They've also had some kind of weak performances as well. So it's gone a bit both ways, but definitely. All in all, and I'd say it's a big step up from the losses in Cena Cup. And Cena Cup, there was very early new decks for them, so they're still trying to find themselves as a team. And that's where I don't think you can look at that tournament and say, hey, I mean, Newbie's already a big disappointment. They've got a lot of talent, and to me, they are going to be definitely a top contender in the Chinese scene.
That it's early days for them as a team, because this is what 4/5 of TI3's TongFu made a pretty deep run in the competition, so.
going live. DK Dota versus Tongbi. It's basically...
It's minus
Tongbi.
Sanshang plus Zhao 8, right? That's the only difference.
Yeah, this is almost... Yeah, exactly. It's almost identical roster.
Yeah.
Zhao 8's definitely a step up, because that's kind of where that Tongbi team was really solid. They won the Dota 2 Super League, beating DK, like 3-0 DK in the Dota 2 Super League crap. Landments, but Zhao 8 like that, they never... That kind of stopped them going next. So in theory, this team... Outform pretty literally. To me, the biggest weakness of this team lately has been how
Dire team pick.
the standout player back when TongFu was dominating.
Who had going as well at that point was their team coordination was just amazing. It was really, really up there, as far as any team in the world. And I think you were right that the one thing that let them down a little bit might have been the captaincy here and there. I don't want to say anything too harsh, just because honestly I don't remember it all that well. But I think that was my impression of them back then. So yeah, hopefully as they get really get that coordination back on track as far as team fights are concerned, I think they're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Dire team pick.
Well, into this graph, you guys are on the stream have been seeing a bit of it, and it's going to be DK on the Dire side. Straight into a Centaur pick. They've been really prioritizing this as far as an off-lane hero for Ice, so it's kind of up there with the Nature's Prophet for them. Prophet getting ignored this game, and they go for the Centaur instead. Interesting selection by DK. It sort of suits their style for this pick.
They run the Wisp quite a bit, actually. They're very successful with it. I don't know if I've seen them run Lifesteal Wisp so much of late. I feel like what we've mainly been seeing DK do with the Wisp is the Gyrocopter Wisp, often on the Dire side. MMY sits there, gets up a whole bunch of stacks, Burning farms them up, and probably got some absurd win rate with Wisp, if I had to guess off the top of my head. So it looks like DK are taking this pretty seriously.
I'm just amazing watch
10 seconds remaining.
Winning games left hands with it. This time around they get a Mushi Storm.
5 seconds remaining.
Just settle very on the draft. Got crap into Epic. Well, not much, but they just...
Reserve time.
Mushi had to play the Centaur. That game didn't go that well for DK. So they make sure they get Mushi a hero that he's going to be playing in the mid lane with the Storm Spirit. And then you've got your Storm Spirit plus Lifestealer synergy as well coming into play.
It's funny when you're calling a player like Mushi, who played, 21 heroes over the course of TI3, the most limited player on a team, right?
There's just 2 or 3 heroes he doesn't play at all is the thing. Like, there's no Invoker, doesn't play Invoker at all. What are the other? There's one other, 1 or 2 others, I can't remember now.
Reserve time.
Yeah, Invoker is the one big one for his role, I would say. There are definitely other heroes.
Beastmaster at all, I believe.
Okay.
I think it was Beastmaster, because he doesn't actually have the hotkey set up for it, but I could be wrong on that.
I know that I know some people that complain about Mushi's tread swapping and stuff like that. Some of the more minor, that's not a minor micro thing, but we'll call it that. Yeah. So I guess that's the one thing that let him down. Yeah, exactly. But he's good enough that he kind of makes up for it, which is the interesting thing. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, the other big news, I didn't mention it yet now on the actual live stream, it was brought up in the chat, but Burning is playing. So I said earlier during the last game that he won't be playing, but that was incorrect, false, so I hope not too many people went off betting rares on Newbie under that assumption, because Burning's back. He's apparently, he's not in perfect health, but he's healthy enough to be sitting in front of a computer, which is all you really need to be doing right now.
10 seconds remaining.
When I was sick, as a child, in school or whatever, I was always playing video games when I was sick. That was how you recovered, by playing video games, so...
And off of it?
But, yeah. We see DK... I like this because they've got the Lifestealer Storm Spirit combo, you got the Infest with the Storm. They needed a hero to go with the Wisp, which was going to be a support, which to me, Sanking's great. The other option would have been a Vengeful Spirit, maybe, but I like the Wisp plus Sanking here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole bunch of really great heroes to relocate into a fight I mean, most of the time we've gotten used to even support Sand King still getting a pretty quick blink just because of the sandstorm changes and being able to jungle a little bit more, but back when it was a bit more difficult for Sand King to get a blink, we saw some teams running the occasional epicenter relocate filling in as a blink dagger, so that could be something that we see DK do here, assuming that the Centaur and everybody else is already in position.
They've gone for a Morphling, which typically they run as a safe link farm, I believe, from recent games. They've only played it once or twice, but I think this will be
some teams are running a mid, aren't they? I think EG are running Morphling mid.
Oh yeah,
from time to time.
EG and Cloud9 are the two big teams running him mostly mid, and the main reason is because when you get that shock up, you want to have your max adaptive strike. I mean, you basically need to be level 14, so you have all your 3 skills maxed. And that's where if you're in a tri-lane farming, maybe you don't get all the experience you need. And he's actually a pretty good mid. Like, you morph enough agility, you last hit just fine. And model regen kind of is even more effective. But they could Invoker. Wow, Invoker made it really
kill as well.
Deep into the draft.
Especially if you asked me 2 weeks ago, is Invoker going to be 5th pick? It's probably going to be first pick, first ban, but priorities have shifted even in the last little bit. And I'm going to keep ranting and raving, and I've been doing it for the last couple of patches. I think we are on some of the best versions that Dota has ever seen, like from a competitive standpoint. It's been great.
I mean, I think partly it's still a new version, so teams haven't all really quite figured out what's the most efficient way to play. I mean, you look at like 6.79, and like for a long time when it first came out, it was similar to the way people were experimenting, trying lots of things before they finally found out what fit best. So, last 3 or 4 months have been fantastic for a variety of heroes and just new styles coming out, but I think the biggest thing that I would like to, not so much address, but I think there's just too many areas where Radiant have an advantage with the off lane being better as well as their jungle, and I think tweaking. Ember Spirit, that hero just I don't think he's OP, but I just don't. I'm just sick of that hero.
Yeah. Fortunately, he hasn't reached absurd levels in competitive. I think he's being picked up more now, but still only by certain teams. So again, it's another one of those heroes where it'll be interesting to see where exactly it goes.
Round things off. Well, they got the AA towards the end here, so was that a last pick Ancient Apparition?
They first picked AA.
Fucking that. Okay. No.
What's first pick?
We forgot the draft already.
And then they took Nyx, and then Clock, and then Morph, and then...
Yeah, gotcha.
The Clockwork and the Nyx, that the Nyx might have been a core, because I think that's what we've been seeing more from the hero recently, and then they would have had a lineup with a Morphling and 2 really gank-oriented cores, and I was a little bit worried that DK could kind of just 5-man through that, even though they have the Wisp, so, but gonna end up being the support Nyx Assassin, so they're not too heavily oriented on pickoff, and they've got a little bit of extra carry power now in the Invoker, who's always relevant late game.
Heading down this bottom lane with Boots, tether movement speed. He wants to get these wards down before Newbie actually get there. He's gonna get there before them, but he will get spotted planting these wards, I imagine, unless they go different directions. It looked like, nope, gets the Observe Ward down before anyone can really see him do anything at all, so... This is when Newbie come to this bottom tri-lane and probably think there's no ward there, because they rush there and... Oh, right at the bat. Was it a sentry? No, okay, he didn't place a sentry. He passed the sentry to his teammate. Gave a sentry to the Clockwork. I saw King J like drop a sentry, and I was like, wait, what? He knew this is coming?
30 seconds to battle.
Even if from Ice's play they think that he has a ward spotting the supports, there's a very low chance that they're gonna find this one, because most people are gonna place their sentry kind of up here, which sometimes just isn't gonna catch this observer. all the way down here. And as you pointed out, they've only got the one sentry total for this lane now. They shipped the other one off to the off lane with Zhao.
Yeah. And just from Newbie's point of view, like, they rush bottom lane, so they're thinking, hey, if DK had got down here to ward, we would have seen them. Like, the fact that the Sand King got there so fast with boots plus the Wisp tether movement speed may not be something they're anticipating. And they've got a lane ward, so they in theory would see anyone coming out to actually plant that ward if it happens later on. But we'll introduce our two teams. We'll also put some Dota 2 sounds on, as I realize there's no Dota 2 sounds playing. And it's going to be DK on the Dire side, Burning playing the Farming Lifestealer, MMY on the Wisp. We've got Lamb playing the Sand King. Mid lane's going to be your Storm Spirit played by Mushi, and in the off lane it's Ice on the center.
Over on Newbie, we've got Banana handling the Nyx Assassin. We've got King J on the Ancient Apparition. Hao is going to be handling the Morphling down on bot. We've got Moo heading towards mid on Invoker, kind of looking like a QE build for the time being. I guess we'll see where that goes. And we've got Zhao as the offlane Clockwork.
I think I'd just lean more towards the Q. Well, I think QW is maybe slightly better just because of like the relocate scene. You need to go very defensive against this. I think QE will just get punished by aggressive ganks like Lifestealer and Fest Bombs, Wisp relocates. QE Invoker just won't survive this game.
There, but I'm just judging by the item build for now. Most of the time, QW is going to end up going for your really early phase boots, but this Null Talisman, to me, is a little bit more QE-esque. But we'll see what Moo does. I guess we'll keep an eye on it. I agree with you, though. I think Quaswex is probably the go here. Good counter initiation, stall the game.
Yeah, you're pretty big on the EMP being absolutely ridiculous. I've seen you play Invoker non-stop.
Guilty of running a whole lot of Invoker in pubs. The hero's just... The EMP is disgusting. It really is.
It's not up to the best start. Mushi's already hit 9 creeps in this mid lane, so he's farming pretty well here. Look towards Ice. He's going to be checking this 2-minute rune, getting harassed from the high ground, but that's where the return kicks in. King J almost takes as much damage as he dishes out, and Ice secures the rune, grabs a double damage. Not that he's going to be able to use this anywhere, really, whatsoever, but hey, deny it from Newbie.
Pretty passive on the whole for the time being. Both sets of supports just kind of pulling.
Yeah.
Both offlaners getting reasonable experience as well. And I almost feel like DK actually kind of need to be the first team to make a move in this game. Just because in Storm Spirit, you don't just want to be sitting around and farming through the mid game. I'd really like to start making some plays if at all possible.
It's to some extent to do that, I guess. Like, you get Mushi level 6 maybe. He's actually being a lot of harass under his tower, but even like your Sand King, he needs a few levels before he can roam. With Sand King, I mean, Wisp is similar story. Wisp is doing his trademark, stack all the camps in the world. He's stacking both these two camps at the same time. Actually misses one of the stacks, unfortunately, but this is just, like, this guy's just a master in the jungle.
Being just a really fast blink for the Sand King. Maybe they'll give some to Ice, and Ice actually in a lot of trouble bottom lane.
May go down here with the bonus damage from the Chilling Touch. Ice getting very low. One more right click. The first blood goes to Hao as well. Perfect execution coming out from Newbie.
Forest Strike comes in, down will go.
Goes to Newbie in the end of that second kill there, but DK, the trial getting a kill here is definitely useful for them. The other thing they can do with this next stack is have Mushi come in and farm it with Remnant, but that's a bit trickier because he does have to tank quite a bit of damage.
Ways to farm it, it should just be a nice bit of experience in gold for DK. And I'm with you 100%. I think that we're not going to be seeing movements until we have those level 6s up and whatnot, but I think even if Newbie gets some okay levels, there's not too much incentive to do anything. And MMY, in trouble.
He's dead. The last right click will chase him down. The tornado not even going to be needed, and that rocket flare helps secure the kill there. So nice awareness from Zhao throwing the rocket flare from top lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they kind of want to go on Ice again, but he's got an Invis rune this time around. That was a 4-minute rune, and see, they don't have any rune vision at the moment. Have their wards? Have they been entirely dewarded here, or?
Inventories, so it looks like they must have been.
Leech a bit of this experience here at the bottom lane. May even steal the last hit. We'll do so with a Hoof Stomp. being as annoying as possible in this off lane. Size fashion.
As well? Is that a smoke? I think it was. Wow.
Okay. Did they smoke
Size
after he
kind of...
stomped, or...?
Yeah, so he was just over here, and the supports decided that, okay, we're just down here, we're gonna go for a smoke. And he revealed it immediately, so that's a big loss for Newbie. Yeah, exactly, he was there like a second ago.
Usual from Newbie, but we're going to see some support rotations now towards the mid lane. Sankin gets scouted from the high ground by Zhao. Doesn't actually have battery assault here, so but we're not going to see too much here. Moo maybe going to have to use some spells here to save Zhao. The MP goes down, the tornado. Is it actually up? It does have it now, and we're going to look at his sun going through here. Zhao in a bit of trouble. Mushi zips to the high ground. Great tornado catches out 2 heroes. Mushi low on mana. He's got a full bottle charge to heal himself back up. MMY got low as well. He held that one a long time just to make sure Zhao was going to be okay.
Kind of failed gank on either side, though I guess Newbie ended up not going quite so far for theirs, so maybe their advantage overall.
Big stack was farmed by...
Is he okay?
Okay,
he's fine. Just barely.
But I'm guessing it was maybe the Sanking's got 900 gold, so I'm guessing he farmed that big sack that was there before. 5 as well as could get a fast arcane boot, but we've been seeing a lot of blink rushes on Sanking, kind of getting the arcane boots later on.
Just going the straight blink, honestly.
Like 8-9 minutes in, it's like kind of like a backrider in the jungle in a lot of ways, except you're a 4-position hero.
And, well, should be big opportunity for DK to make plays as well, once they have that up. Everyone's just kind of farming for the time being, not a whole lot of movement. I think there's a new smoke over on the Newbie supports. Yeah, there's one on the courier, so they might try and make a move. But, again, Mushi's already reached level 7, so he's a little bit difficult to gank. Burning's always going to be tough, just because they've only got really 1 solid stun right now, so we might just see them continue to farm up for the time being.
Oh, like this is one of those. I guess this is one of the. I was talking about how earlier on how Radiant has all these advantages. This is definitely a dire advantage, at least for a hero like Wisp or any hero that can cut down these trees. Being able to stack both these 2 camps at once, and it's going to give them just a lot of split between their supports right now, with Stankin getting most of that.
And I think this is pretty much the source of their lead right now. They have a minor golden experience lead, and that's pretty much just from the jungle. Everything else is very even.
Yeah, Burning and Howl pretty much trading farm for farm right now. The Storm and Invoke are pretty similar CSs as well, so yeah, Sanking, the leading farm as a support. Level 3, and that to me is a bit of a worry. Like, your Centaur can level a bit slowly, get starved a bit, and make more of a comeback, but you want to get that hookshot online as fast as possible, generally speaking. I think that's the biggest concern for Newbie right now, is this clock getting next to nothing out of the offlane, and it's really hard because Lifestealer just matches up pretty well against Clockworks once you get your face boots up, because you can just use the Rage if you get trapped with him and just kind of bring him down, and he hasn't even got battery assault for this lane.
A touch under-leveled. I think part of that was because he copped a lot of harassment when he revealed that gank mid, so he had to head all the way back to the fountain. But yeah, we'll see what kind of impact he ends up having this game, because you're right, if he doesn't have that level 6, he can't be hiding off the map, he can't be setting up ganks, and the Centaur, once he gets 6, he's quite happy to just sit in a lane and help somebody on the other side of the map out with Stampede. So that's the big difference here. Ice can almost afford to be farming in the mid game. You can't say the same for the Clockwork at all.
Yeah. Clock is their tempo controller. He's the one who's going to be getting them kills and basically counter-ganking in the mid-game. Like, Invocus can to some extent, but he needs that Clockwork to kind of partner with him.
Radiant structures at 45.
Great weight on his own. He's got a Sanking on his side, he's got a Storm Spirit, not to mention a Lifestealer who can actually come to fights early on, and that's where I feel DK have a bit of an edge over Newbie, because Newbie's Mortling's not really a good hero to fight with early on compared to a Lifestealer. If this Lifestealer needs to, he'll infest in the Storm, he'll TP to another lane, he'll come to these fights. For a slightly more late-game oriented build. Some people leave it as a casual Ring of Health
for a while and do still rush the shotgun, but I get the feeling that we might just be seeing a Lincoln Sphere come out here.
The Morphling here can't really kill this Morphling at all. He's hoping maybe to find the AA poked up. And meanwhile, top lane, it looks like Clockwork. He's trying to just push Burning out of this lane. The Nyx Assassin is nearby. They haven't actually scouted him out as far as I can tell. And coming from behind with a Burrow Strike. He's level 5 with the Arcane Boots, but he's going to go back to his own jungle, it looks like. And that's all for now.
Passive, pretty farmy game, but I think that leaves the Clockwork really stranded. Unfortunately, if he gets left behind, he was already a bit questionable, as far as impact is concerned for the late game. So we'll see what Zhao can do. Even if he only manages to farm up a 4-staff, he's still pretty impactful in just dealing with the Lifestealer, kiting him around in fights, and the Nyx is the bulk of DK's damage, so he's still got things he can accomplish.
How you talk about is definitely much more beneficial for Newbie because they're not ready to fight. Like, you don't have any levels on your Clockwork, and you also don't have the AA Ice Blast. Those to me are the two almost key spells they're waiting for. Not to mention Invoker, he benefits a lot from getting more time to level up. DK needs to be getting kills right now, or at least need to be applying pressure, because with an underleveled Clockwork and a Morphling you can't really farm, not to mention AA with no ulti, like, this is time for DK to punish this Newbie roster, or Newbie lineup.
Burning as well. Yeah, so he's at the peak of his power for the next couple of minutes. This is a really big timing window for DK to use.
Now he's got a decent chunk of experience under his tower bottom lane. He's got Stampede, so DK have a huge edge for at least the next minute or two, which is where I'd love to see them at least get more active on this map right now. They're trying to. Like, Mushi's roaming around. He's just not finding the openings. Newbie are just kind of playing cautiously enough all over the map.
Dual lane sitting under the towers, taking farm from the waves.
Epicenter for this one. They may look to use it. There's another zip here. No way from up and out. Nothing to spring here. Sentinel top. They'll use the Epicenter maybe if they have to. 2 heroes stun. Epicenter fall. They're going to look to bring down King J at the Epicenter, but that leaves Hao well and truly alive. He's going to waveform. That's not going to actually land on Lamb. If that waveform hits, Lamb would have been dead there. Tornado comes through. Lamb's still in all sorts of trouble. Another Burrow Strike out. He's not going to survive though. The EMP from Moon, not really on point here. Eyesight size. He's now on the run, but he'll get out of there safely.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Gives burning space at top to get a tier 1 tower, and that was a lot of heroes that Newbie had to rotate defensively. Although, I mean, end of the day, the Morphling stays alive, which is the big thing.
Off just how difficult it is to gank a Morphling at pretty much any stage of the game, and this is pre-Lincoln's. This is before he's blocking no Vortex or a Burrow Strike or
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
At some point. But yeah, Newbie just going to continue farming up. Burning grabbed that tier 1 tower top lane, so we'll see. I think pretty even overall, minor advantage to DK, but they've just got to keep the pressure up. They'll have the Blink Dagger on the Sand King super soon as well, and they've got their first relocate online, so expect DK to get aggressive.
Newbie have their hookshot up now, so I mean, that's probably as big as getting this relocate up. Both teams will probably be very wary of these counter initiation potential, and always got to worry about this EMP and Vogue. Aggressive, they'll have their mana sapped and just suddenly be unable to fight in these clashes, especially if they're under an enemy tower. They'll get punished quite heavily, but Newbie still need to get King J up to this level 6. There's still no Ice Blast on the playing field.
Radiant's top tower is
struggling
under attack.
A little bit. Bananas just grabbed level 5, AA level 4.5, but he's got some time mid lane, so that should be his 6, hopefully pretty soon. And I'm just noticing Zhao with the Poverty build. He's got Boots of Speed, 2 Bracers, and a Magic one. Yeah.
Double Bracer. I saw the first and thought, okay, like a casual Bracer, that's normal. Double Bracer.
Oh, I'm behind, so I'm gonna build
Sand
Bracers.
King has a Blink Dagger already. Like, I mean, sure, it's 14 minutes, you can get it fast without the Arcane Boots, but that's really where DK are ahead. Their support farm at level 2. And then we're going to see a Gek on the Morphling and bottom line. The hook shot doesn't actually hit. It hit a creep. An ally creep at that, then nobody's going to go down. Well, it looks like DK going to look for some more here to relocate in, and Mushi looking to get the second kill here. Clockwork on the run, he's under his own tower here. Mushi with a decent chunk of mana, but decides not to go for the kill. to that one, especially with the Wisp relocate ender. He goes back towards the mid lane, and DK get a kill on the Morphling. That's a good pick off. That Clockwork, though, missing the hook shot. That was...
I love the way that DK approached that, though. They're like, well, it's really difficult to kill Morphling with 3 heroes, so we'll just bring 5 and make sure that it happens. So, props to them. We've been seeing a lot of their, this Wisp coordination from them. They've been doing very well with it.
Only has to relocate there for 10 seconds, and he's back to another lane, can take whoever he brings with him, so you're not missing out that much on farm time, and Newbie don't have a lineup which is really going to punish other lanes by pressuring. They've got no pushing heroes. Oh, he's been just brought down, and that's another kill going the way of House, but even though he dies there, he immediately picks up a kill on return, and doing House. This just buys more time for Newbie to farm up this Lincoln Spear, which House really needs.
A tornado into a cold snap, follow-up stun from the Nyx assassin, really easy kill there for Newbie.
But Newbie, they're not committing to any sort of a push or anything along those lines. They'll just back off, back to farming. King J hits level 6, and as soon as he does, he leaves the top lane so someone else can take it, or at least wants to join up with his team. And with an Ice Blast on their side, definitely... especially they can land a hook shot into a cogs and lock someone close to set up that area. Damage from an EMP tornado actually dodges the EMP. Picked up by Zhao, but he's still just level 6. As a solo offlane, like at 60 minutes in, this is incredibly underleveled.
Advantage of this farm on the offlane. I mean, you mentioned that King J was just there grabbing his level 6, but he's just kind of been wandering the map since. And I mean, we praised DD last game.
Oh, 8 should be there. Yeah.
Be securing that little bit of farm. If Newbie are all just gonna sit as 4 behind the Morphling, then DK are just gonna pull ahead in terms of farm and be quite happy with it as well.
Yeah. The hero levels is where I really worry for Newbie. Like, they've got like 4k gold difference, which is surmountable. It's not too big of a problem. Like, you've still got to farm Morphling, but the experience, it's a 3,000 difference, but the hero levels really show that. You've only got just level 6 on 3 of your heroes. Meanwhile, DK have like level 8 on their offlane, level 8 on the Sand King, and difference in how strong these DK heroes are. Not as much as the items, it's the level.
That advantage of just having the Wisp, so somebody can be off farming, be off split pushing, and always be ready to attend the fights. So it makes life that much more difficult for Newbie. If they're split up, then they're just going to be relocate ganked, storm ganked, Sand King ganked, you name it. DK can kill you with it. But if they stay grouped up, they're just gonna lose the farm war, at least in the short term. I think they've still got really solid late game, however.
Bottom lane for a good 2 minutes almost now, and they're, like you say, they're just getting out-farmed, out-leveled, and their late game's not too bad, but they've got to get there, and if they're getting under-leveled, they're not going to really reach that point. You can't have a full Protect 1, is what I feel in the late game scenario. They need to have 2-3 heroes with solid farm to actually be able to take this in the late game.
Dying structures are fortified.
It's flipped up here. Burning just going to go on the front lane. He goes on Banana, who does have level 6, does have Vendetta, 4 starts away. Nice little pick up from Moo. It looks like the Stormcrow is going to take a mid tower. Burning's just solo defending this. He's going to invest into a creeper. He's got the backup of a Sankey Epicenter. Ooh, not quite the Epicenter that Sankey Lamb was looking for. The Stampede can be used defensively. Burning goes down to an Ice Blast, and take a fall. DK kind of just bit of a poor defense of this bottom tower. I think they're just trying to be a bit too cute there with Burning, trying to bait people into a Lamb Epicenter, but themselves well enough that they don't overcommit to that.
DK had that worked out, but I think they read what Burning was doing. They're like, oh yeah, he's got Radiant creeps here. If we damage him too much, he's just going to jump in and away he'll go. So they didn't really overcommit, and DK end up being punished a little bit for it. Lose the kill, lose a tier 1. They did end up grabbing the tier 1 mid, so bit of an exchange going their way there.
With an Orchid now too. I'm not sure if he just got the tower. He may have had the Orchid already regardless, but he needs to be getting... I guess that's where Newbie 5-manning, that's where Storm is not all too effective. He does not want to be kind of zipping into 5-man type last. He's going to take a lot of damage at mid lane. And luckily, the EMP not actually landing on him there. Ball by Newbie, and it looks like, is this the Lincoln Sphere coming? Yeah, Lincoln Sphere 19 minutes in, so... Happy from how?
Anyone at this point, though, unless he manages to sit around in a fight, finds an opportunity to kind of gently massage some people to death, because he's not really right-clicking that hard for the moment. And I think this is a big opportunity for DK. They've just got the mech over on the Centaur, so this could be a time to start forcing some fights, try and gain some more ground if they can.
TP the Tornado not going to land, luckily for him. A big problem as far as actually escaping. And there we go, you talked about it. DK, they've got the mech timing, they smoke up, they infest the Lifestealer into Lamp Tank, and pretty much one fine with Blink Stun. Should be fairly easy prey here. Blink Stun, it's good. Oh, he missed the stun! The Stampede gets used to slow move, but he's just going to Ghost Walk this one. There's no actual detection amongst these three heroes. This is... They're not going to lose anyone, but a bit of a time investment. And being used as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Anti-invis against the Coswex Invoker.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
The Blink Stun with the Infest. If they check with those heroes, it works out fine, but when you miss the Virus Strike, then you're in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, so they get the tier 1, now the question is, can they hold their tier 1s? Looks like they should be fine. Newbie not really in a position to threaten too much
right now, but once we look towards Invoker's Hex, and that's going to be around the same time Morphling gets Ethereal Blade, that's where I feel Newbie are going to be pretty fighting fit, and that's where DK have to worry a bit about what they can actually do in a team fight. They have got the great ganking potential, and that's where I feel they just look to use Infest gank after Infest gank. Don't try to take head-on fights against a Morphling with an Ethereal Blade and an Invoker with a Hex, although that's still about 4 or 5 minutes away. Playing Newbie just find another pick-off, and that's Moo with his 4th unanswered kill here. He's actually... Moo's having a fantastic game on this Invoker.
very well. And just doing exactly what Invoker needs to do in this game, which is counter gank, farm, and in general, kind of slow down the pace of the game, which he's doing well.
Not as fit as he needs to be. I mean, he still is having he still is slightly unwell. He had a lung infection, apparently, I think is what was reported. And wow. Imagine having a lung infection in China. Like, it would just be the worst thing ever.
Talk about with Burning getting caught out up on the top side of the map there is that there's always this feeling with Lifestealer that, oh look, they don't really have any way to cancel my Rage TP, so if I'm caught, you know, I should be okay. But the way that Newbie set up that gank is they had the Ice Blast already coming in, Banana hit the burst, still hit the Impale out of Invis, and Burning just had no chance to react at all, so...
Yeah.
Gonna load up the Lifestealer one more time and seemingly go for this same gank down into the Radiant jungle.
Just yet, this Radiant Observer is nearby, and they must... I mean, they'll probably expect there to be a ward around that area, so I don't think they'll just go running down river into the Radiant jungle with 2 heroes. That's kind of a bit of a suicide mission almost. But now Lamb maybe just kind of posturing around the mid lane, waiting for someone to cover this top lane. Zip in, they found Banana. It looks like Banana's going to be a pretty easy pick-off for DK.
Yeah, they were trying to line up another Ice Blast Vendetta gank, but Mushi, I think, sniffs it out and managed to get out of the way, so it just ended up being a free kill for DK there.
Them out for that one, and but for now, I think it's still looking for Newbie. They're actually going to be the clash of bottom lane. It's Hao who be himself home and got his Ghost Scepter up. He's got 1,300 gold and. Mushi going on Moo, and Moo, he's going to fall with the help of the Orchid. That's not too difficult of a kill, and this is where DK, they have no interest in grouping up as 5 like Newbie have done for a lot of this game. They're just going to be constantly split with these, basically 2 separate gank squads. You've got Mushi with the Wisp, and then you've got the like Lifestealer infesting in the Sand King or infesting in the Centaur with the Blink Daggers. And if there's ever a big 5v5 fight, or those 3 heroes run into a 5v5 fight, they can relocate in. So They've just got so many openings to find kills and find ganks. And, well, here's another one. It's Hao on the Morph lane. He's going to get caught out. There is a relocate this time. They'll commit 5 heroes to killing off Hao. Can they even do it? He's stayed alive a long, long time, but... Kill off the Morph, and they may go for Roshan here. They leave Mushi bottom, so this is, yeah, DK going to get Roshan. They're going to get the Aegis on their side now.
Forward? Yeah, they know it's happening, but the question is, can they stop it?
Moo's not TPing, I mean, there's only 2 TP.
Seconds. Let's see. Yeah, Tornado EMP coming in.
They're killing this too slowly. He just straight up die. He's being bashed as well by Rosh, but he's dead. He's killed by Roshan. Mushi may die as well. The Ice Blast, no, it doesn't tick him over.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What a disaster. I can hold Landberg complete everything. He doesn't have a ton for the sun. He gets it now thanks to the Wisp, I think, actually tethering him up, and he's going to get 1 kill on the next assassin. Can he get Moo? Get the Ancient Apparition. They lose their 2 core heroes, but they go in with the supports, and, well, the supports get the job done. Actually doesn't hit too much. What did he actually hit with that hook shot?
Not sure. So looks... Oh, what's going on here?
And he landed on something. With DK Ice Attack, he's going to blink aggro as well. He's going to go and move. The double edge should finish him off. He killed off the Invoker. Lifesteal is respawning in a couple of seconds. Hal taking a lot of damage here. Starting to morph the strings here. DK needs to maybe go home, but he's going to pick up Ice. Then he replicates out, so... He needs to stay around the growth pit. Roche is low. Meanwhile, Lifesteal Burning's gone back in. Nice Tornado coming out from Moo. Creating some space here. Moo has to buy back for this one, though, and that's where they really want to make sure DK don't get this Aegis. Roshan's low Rocket Flare. Gonna go Flying Scatter. Just how low Roshan is. Shot from Roche. I can't believe that Ice Blast onto Roshan, where they killed off Lifestealer and Storm Spirit, worked. Like, it was so obvious by that point. Well, at least, I mean, to us, sure, we can see it all, but even for, I feel like, a team like DK, they should have been able to tell they were just taking too long to kill off Roshan and just backed off a little bit.
They were already committed to try and finish it. They just overestimated the damage a bit. Nice Tornado.
Oh, Clockwork, you're going to regret going into this one. The Lifesteal is there waiting inside Ice. They kill him by Ice, though, and they actually get out of the cogs here. Clockwork's going to go down with that on the Fire Strike. Mushi's meanwhile zipped his play. He's out of mana, though, thanks to a mana burn. Mushi's going to go down. DK have lost 2 here. Possibly more as Morphling waves himself in, looking for MMY. He actually replicates back by the looks of things, and Newbie getting themselves another decent trade here. They lose 2, but they kill off key heroes in the Storm Spirit especially, as well as the Centaur War Runner.
DK's initiation, the plan was Mushi jumps in as Ice is stampeding and blinking in for a stomp, but he got caught by the Tornado, he got caught by the hookshot, he got caught by the cogs, and Mushi kind of ended up in the middle of no man's land because he was expecting the rest of his team to be stampeding in with him, but caused it to be a really big problem. So we were a little bit worried what kind of game is Zhao going to have after a bit of a shaky start, but showing that he can definitely still have an impact. And he's managed to farm up the mech as well. He's ditched one of those bracers, so inventory is looking a little bit healthier.
He hooked on the Centaur, because like Lifestealer inside the cogs with a Clockwork is never fun for Clockwork, but I think his teammates maybe forced him out of there, and then after that Lifestealer like doesn't really do a whole lot in the fight, so... Standoff been going on around this Roshan pit for quite some time. As Newbie not really in position right now to instantly contest it, but they're smoked up. They'll probably make their way over there, especially with the Rocket player scouting this one out. DK, surely they don't make the same mistake. They're going to get hit by the AI plus, but they're still pretty healthy here. Tornado goes through, catches a couple of these heroes. Leaks and Tail as well. Burning getting very low here. Clockwork hookshot, he catches out 2 to get the kill on Lifestealer as well as Stormford. A few animations missing out here. Land pops from Epicenter, but the mech on the Newbie side heals everyone up, and buyback. They don't have Storm Spirit. They don't have Epicenter. Should be Roshan going Newbie's way here. We're going to see an open wound going on the Clockwork. He gets forced up the way, and that's Rage on cooldown. Roshan goes Newbie's way. Think about going in with a Stampede, but bit of a disaster for DK.
It was just terrible for DK at the end of it all.
You know, DK were doing just fine. If Roshan didn't exist, DK would be doing so much better right now. Everything that's gone wrong this game has come from the Roshan bit.
The situation that they were in before they decided to head into Roche, right after they got that relocate gank down in the Morphling, things were looking sweet. It was, it was looking like a pretty easy ride for DK through the mid game. But Newbie, by taking a really prolonged fight, they get Roshan, they get the Aegis, they've got those big items now up as well. Moo's getting very close to that Hex, and we saw the shotgun come out in the last fight as well. And Morphling is now starting to get really scary. DK can do it. I mean, it's taken them 5 heroes up until this point to kill him once. So the Morphling with an Aegis is going to be a pretty big stumbling block for them.
For Morphling, and DK are learning the lesson the hard way that you do not force Roshan against a team with AA plus Clockwork. Like that to me is just the big task. Zhao now doing some dealing around the Roshan as well. They've got a gem. Yeah, they bought the gem. I don't think the Dire side have a gem of their own. They took out lots of Sentry Wards on the Wisp, and pretty tricky for DK to take a fight. With an Aegis shotgun Morphling, this is just not at all an appealing idea for them.
Your advantage in team fights, and Newbie were just kind of wandering around the map hoping not to get picked off, but now they know that they have the advantage as far as team fights are concerned, and they're just forcing it. They're going to start taking some towers, more gold in their pockets, and DK can only really split push at the moment.
They'll try to find some solo kills, where they get Storm Spirit and the Lightsealer involved, just kill a hero who's by themselves, get out quickly, but Newbie are pretty clever. They're probably well aware that DK are going to try to do that, and they're not going to present any kills easily for DK to get, and can go off on his own, not risk really getting picked off too much, and pushes out the top lane. He looks to regroup with his team, and they can just go for this next T2 tower, possibly at the mid lane if they want to.
Newbie at all for being split up and farming because they don't know how split up they are. Got this gem on the Invoker, DK have one lone ward on the map, and just because of that, DK can't really take advantage of what was their strength all the way through the early game, which was the Storm Spirit pickoffs, the Sand King pickoffs, the Wisp pickoffs. That was really fueling them, and now they have no idea who's safe to gank, and at the moment all they can really do is farm.
So at this point, they just want to buy time. Like you say, try and farm. Maybe once the Aegis is worn off, they try and go back to the strategy of finding those pickoffs and ganks without having to worry about an Aegis on Morphling, but this very dicey long-range hookshot from downtown in Jiaowei. Can they catch him out in the pocket? Potentially a relocate. Relocate actually gets countered by the Colt, looks like. There's no relocate. Burning out from the TP out. Can he actually do so? He's that base. Is the Ice Blast on him? He may shatter here. Doesn't do so. I think relocate got cancelled by the Cogs push.
Wisp, while he's winding up, it stops. So that's exactly what happened.
That was. I think MMY play doesn't often make those Wisp. If they get out, I just was maybe making their burning. Just. And you can have that one.
To stop that happening would have been to walk up and then tether at a closer range, so he wouldn't have been dragged into it. But yeah, otherwise, I'm not sure. And then if he'd done that, he might not have been able to get it off in time. Though it turns out, in the end... So, there you go.
Morphling picked up a BKB now. He is well on his way. I mean, he's already well on top of the farm charts here. Net worth 3,000 over the Storm Spirit, 7,000 over the Lifesteal. This is where burning is just not looking that scary. All these heroes just kite him around, and even if it was like had an extra 3,000-4,000 gold or another item, he'd still be getting kited around at this point in the game. Threat to Newbie, it feels like.
Double damage.
Pickoffs, but I feel like burning never really started snowballing, and DK didn't manage to take down any tier 2s while they were, in a firm lead 10 minutes ago. So gold that you might expect them to have just isn't there. Roshan.
Yeah. Roshan was the undoing of DK this game, and that's the team on the dire side. Normally it's the other way around, where you're just losing games because the other team just keeps sneaking these cheap, easy Roshans, but DK have had no such luck.
Go to a game that DK played just the other day, which was... It wasn't a disastrous Roshan fight, but they took a disastrous fight bot, and then they ended up behind for... Mushi that bottom lane. Bye-bye.
Destroyed. The Hex on the Invoker coming out means they can gank anyone on this map. They're maybe not done here. Doesn't have the Blink Dagger, went for a Ghost Scepter instead, which is probably a reasonable choice against a Lifestealer. ISI's gonna blink down bottom. What is he thinking here? He's on his own. He doesn't have Blink. The hookshot's actually much further back. That was with the Nyx Assassin. They sniped the Wisp here, and ISI's better be careful. If he pokes his head out, they may spawn Observer
middle tower has fallen.
They look to go for him, doesn't look like it. They're going to go for tier 2 mid and possibly even the tier 3. House just on the high ground. They get to rep it for a small escape then. It's tier 3. And a shot on a Lifestealer. He falls out of range.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Becomes a little trickier for him. He can... Or he can just micro the break. Going to get saved by a force up. He is there, but he doesn't actually have a blink burrow strike, and he's taking a lot of damage. The AI plus the land perfectly on 3 heroes. DK just gonna melt. Everybody just takes a fall. He loses it, but it's too late. DK have already lost the fight. Banana taking a lot of damage. It looks like this is a fight back from the Lifestealer. Possibly the last hope for DK. Morphlin's still alive. He's low on HP and mana, but he's morphed a lot to strength here. He's still alive. Icefall gets dropped to cover the retreat and burning. T3 Tower's barely alive. It may go down to the siege creep, not quite. End of the day, DK get destroyed in their own base, force out a Lifestealer buyback, and all they get is a Nyx Assassin.
By MMY with full HP, half mana, and a few seconds left on his BKB. So I feel like that might have been one more kill that DK might have been able to secure, especially with Burning making his way back into the fight. But yeah, he was still tethered to Mushi as he was trying to make his way out, so that ends up costing DK pretty big there. And Newbie, not really any big losses. They lost the Nyx Assassin, who they don't really mind losing. They've got a lot of damage on the tier 3, and...
Cool, yeah. They can wait for the next Roshan if they really want to. That was without an Aegis as well, so they can... Then push, split, pick then push, and just keep on rinse repeat. And even without a pick off, the shotgun morphling just allows him to kind of push high ground because he just spams it on the closest target, which is generally the Lifestealer. You get him down low and suddenly he can't engage, and his fight's just going to get more and more difficult. AA building towards an Aghanim Scepter, and even without the Aghanim Scepter, he's going to have the level 2 ulti, which actually adds quite a decent amount of damage at this stage of the game. He is 10% to 11% shatter range, not to mention quite a bit of extra damage. It's going to be an engagement on caught out by the Ice Blast, Lamb be in all sorts of trouble on the side. Meanwhile, Burning just gets right-clicked down. They lose both Lifestealer and Stormdrill. Lamb actually survived there. Destroyed and Burning GG's out. At this point, there was nothing that could be done. Help with the Observer Ward, okay. Decides what this seems to be.